What up, Braze? So, just disclaimer right from the beginning, right? This is one of those videos that is considered controversial, okay? Some of y'all don't like how I talk about certain subjects that are touchy. This is one of those videos. So, if you don't want to hear me talk about something, conversation, topic-wise, then don't watch the video. Right here. Just exit out. So, those of y'all that are staying now and want to hear what I have to say about it, everybody probably has heard about that shooting that happened over here in Texas. It was near the border. It's pretty far down from me, honestly. I think that town's like 8 hours away. Pretty horrific stuff. You know, my heart goes out to all the families that are involved. I think it was 19 children, 2 adult teachers, and then 17 injured, I believe. It's just awful. It's completely soul-crushing to those families out there. Nothing about that is easy. That's probably, I think in my lifetime, that's probably one of the, well, no, I lie, because I saw, I'm old enough that I remember watching the Twin Towers fall down on TV. That was pretty, that was worse. But this is pretty bad, nonetheless. But yeah, it sparked up a whole lot of conversations, of course, about guns and laws and all this stuff, and I don't know, I've been listening to everybody's opinions on things, and a lot of it doesn't line up with how I feel about things, so I figure I'd talk about it. I highly doubt this video is going to be green either, so probably doesn't matter what I do. But hey, this 1000 is kind of fast. So watch this. It's good luck. Never been on the 1000 with the stretch before, so it's kind of fun seeing what I can do. And I can whip it, boy. Look at the lines, boy. Okay, alright, enough of that. Hold on. It's really hard to turn this thing around, though. Man, it's so freaking long and low. Some wise words from Benjamin Franklin. So those who would give up essential liberty to purchase a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety. I guess what I'm trying to say is, in order to enjoy America as we enjoy it, to be as prosperous and as free as we are, there's a risk to it. And it's not easy when the risk shows itself out like it did the other day. And if you live here, you should be prepared to, you know, prepared for the risk, ready to take on the risk. I think teachers should be armed. I think there should be more security at schools. It's like the easy answer. If politicians do anything, it would be that, to make it to where gun-free zones, that's where 94% of all mass shootings take place, is a gun-free zone. Look it up. Why do they take place there? I don't know. Maybe because there's a big sign in the front that says no guns, so law-abiding citizens will make sure not to bring their guns there, and criminals know this, because criminals don't listen to the laws. That's not how that works. It's just like why making it illegal for anybody to have any sort of weapon doesn't mean that anybody and everybody is not going to be able to get a hold of that weapon and do something bad with it. You just have to be ready for that kind of stuff, and by making it to where people like me can't legally go get something with ease, you know, or at all, doesn't apply to the criminal. Doesn't apply to the person that's going to use it in a bad way. It only applies to me, the level-headed, law-abiding citizen. So, in this instance of the shooting, there's no reason to be talking about the NRA There's no reason to be protesting that. Ethan, that retarded YouTuber, whatever, I forget what his podcast was that he had with Trisha Page, he said something about someone should bomb that building. Like, how? Why should who has the bomb, Ethan? Exactly. Who do you think should be bombing the building? Do you think people should have bombs now instead of guns? I'm confused. It's just stupid. It's ignorance. They want to act violently and emotionally to things that don't require violence and emotion. This tragedy that has happened, it does not require some hasty decision making on some sort of law. The only law I can see that would be helpful is get rid of gun-free zones and make it to where teachers are armed, and make it to where everybody knows that teachers are armed and schools are armed, because it's going to make it less of a soft target. Like, how often do you hear about mass shootings taking place in police stations? Never. There's been a shooting or two in a police station, but not no mass shooting. You know why? Because nobody's dumb enough that actually wants to kill and hurt a bunch of people is dumb enough to go to a police station where everybody in there has a gun to shoot back at them. They want to go to gun-free zones where there is no guns, where it's easy to shoot a bunch of people. There was a shooting up East Coast, I forget where that kid walked into the grocery store, or started outside, worked his way in. Just same instant, a place where quote-unquote it's gun-free place. It's all the same stuff, and everybody wants to talk about the guns, and if people want their guns, those are the bad guys. Like, I'm not the bad guy. I had an instant where I could have used my gun to defend myself from someone who was potentially could have killed me or hurt me. I didn't do it because not because I can't or wouldn't, but simply because it wasn't the right situation for me to do that. If a girl was with me on the back of the bike up on that hill somewhere, I would have pulled my gun out. If I was around other people, some of the guys, I probably would have pulled my gun out, but by myself, I saw it as a, I'm not going to do it unless he clearly tries to stab me type situation. But the point is that I have the option to protect myself. I have that freedom, I have that option, I have that safety net, and taking away that safety net isn't going to make gun violence vanish. It isn't going to make mass killings, we'll say, since take the guns out, it's going to be mass killing. It'll be somebody driving their car through a freaking Little League parade or something, or a freaking baseball field with a bunch of kids playing baseball. Nothing could stop a vehicle from doing that, so do we ban vehicles after that? It's just easiest with a gun, generally speaking. And that's like the first thing people think of if they want to kill somebody. They think of with a gun, most likely. Unless you're in a foreign country, then you're thinking about sticks and knives and blunt objects. But around here, we're just like gun. But no politician is going to be able to fix this problem. Talking about getting rid of guns will never fix this problem. What'll fix it is keeping the teachers armed, so that there will be less chance of loss of life, or chance of loss of life being minimum by, teachers being able to defend themselves and come to the rescue if something crazy goes down. I mean, we have cops for that, and look how that planned out. They sat outside for 30, 40 minutes or whatever, which is unbelievably ridiculous. Just so stupid. So imagine being a teacher in that school, say you're pro-gun, being a teacher in that school, wanting to bring your firearm to school, but to get told no by the school board and all this and that. You're, a law-abiding citizen, so you're not going to bring your concealed carry gun to school to protect your students. And then this happens. What the? Oh. That's crazy. I noticed how hard it was to wiggle waggle because I turned it up. Anyway, and then this happens and you're in your classroom with your students and you can't defend yourself. You can't protect your students. And then you're sitting there waiting for 40 minutes before the cops ever show up while you listen to another classroom get shot up. How's that fair? How does that make sense? There's plenty of teachers out there that I guarantee will be totally cool with carrying a firearm. It's just my solution is a hard solution to accept if you're just trying to get away from guns and violence and all this and that. But it's a realistic answer, because you're not going to be able to get rid of violence. You're not going to be able to get rid of evil people. This doesn't exist. And maybe, yeah, you just can't. There's nothing you can do to get rid of crazy, violent, evil people. They're gonna be here. The Twin Towers got taken down by terrorists all those years ago. Like, nobody talked about banning planes. Like, that was thousands of people. That was millions and millions of dollars lost in just buildings. Like, that was crazy. Nobody talked about banning planes. There's that black dude that drove his car through the parade a while back. I can't remember where it was, but he struck a bunch of people, ended up crashing into some sort of building or something. Nobody talked about banning cars. And coincidentally, if you ban guns or make it to where it's illegal to get guns, that's when the government officially owns us and we're no longer free because, you know, we don't have anything to fight them back with. Which is always a hot take. People always like, the tyrannical government doesn't exist. Yes, it does. Like, the Nazis did just become the Nazis, like, overnight. That was like little by little, bit by bit, until everybody was freaking brainwashed. Everybody was gung-ho with whatever. Look at the daggum dang bike. Dang, dude, look at it. She's low and wide, dude. Looks so cool. I look like a fast boy. Anyway, that's my take on it. You take away guns from people, then the good people no longer have guns and the bad guys still have their guns. That's it. You're never going to get rid of all the guns in the US. There's way too many. It's impossible. There's so many freaking firearms out here. It is crazy. We have more guns than anywhere in the world. Just out and about. There's probably a gun within 50 feet of me right now. Somebody over there in that parking lot's got a firearm sitting there. Like, it's impossible. And people like me will never give the government their gun. No. So, you'll have a bunch of law-abiding citizens such as myself. It's funny saying it like that, but when it comes to owning a firearm and being a normal citizen, walking around in public, law-abiding citizen, I'm not going to do anything crazy with my firearm, but I'll immediately become, you know, a bad guy. Simply because I don't want the government to say I can't have my gun. Because, like I said, look what the government did. The police didn't go in the building for 40 minutes. All that happened. If I was in that building, I would want my gun. I know the cops aren't going to be able to come in there and get me in time. So why are you talking about trying to take my right away to keep myself safe and my family safe? It's crazy. Road closed. Well, is it? Check out the new service road. That ain't done yet, but it looks nice to me. This looks like a good place to practice wheelies. Oh. Anyway, Brad, I guess that's the end of this. I'll piece it together however it comes out. Normal videos, as normal, you know, pop it up soon. I got a crazy one I'm working on right now. This is pretty dope. Whoa! Woo-hoo! It's so slippery. Anyway, so love you guys. Be safe out there. Love on your loved ones and don't hold grudges. Okay, later.